What's up? It's Josh from Redcliffe Muscle and Custom, coming to you from my workshop where I've got my CVR starter motor out because it's been giving me some grief. Chances are if you've clicked on this video, yours is probably giving you a bit of dramas as well. The issue that I've had with mine is generally when I'm at a car show or out driving for a bit and then park up and leave it for 10 minutes plus, it seems to heat soak and it won't actually start. So I'm getting just a non-start issue, just a click when I hit the key, sometimes not even a click at all. I did pull this out and give it a clean, but that did seem to fix it short term, but long term, the problem has returned. In saying that, what I need to do now, we need some parts. So I've got this CVR repair kit. It's a solenoid repair kit and it's ND9606KIT. As you can see here, it's got a couple of contacts as well as the plunger. These contacts fit. This doesn't seem to fit in this starter motor at all, so I'm going to leave that out for now and just fit these two parts here. It most likely will fix the issue. This fix will apply to any CVR starter motor most likely, whether you've got a Chevy, a Pontiac, Oldsmobile, Ford. They're all a very similar style, so this shouldn't give you any problems at all with replacing these. I did have a look online. I couldn't find any other videos on how to do this, so I thought let's do a how-to on this one. I've already removed the starter motor from my Pontiac. It was two 9/16 bolts, the power cable here, as well as the remote start cable, whatever you want to call it, which was an Allen head bolt. Once that's all undone, starter motor comes straight out. It's a very, very straightforward repair. That's what I like about it. So if we turn this starter motor over, you've got this sort of cap here with a bit of a knob hanging out and 3 bolts, 1, 2, and 3. This bolt here actually has a little clip over the power cable just to hold it in place as well. So just remember to keep that in its place when you put it back in. This is I think it's a 7 mil. One funny thing I found is that some of these bolts seem to be metric, including the Allen key bolts. So just make sure you've got both tools on hand. I'm using a 7 mil in this case to undo this one. So it's 3 bolts. Just get them undone, pull them out nice and quickly. They do have little baby washers on them as well, so don't lose that. Just be very careful. You do want to have the washer on there just to make sure it doesn't loosen off later. Put these up there somewhere safe. These are quite small, so just make sure you do put them somewhere safe, including the washer, because I tell you what, if you drop it, you're probably not going to find it again, especially for workshops like me and things just seem to disappear to Narnia or some other fictional land where you can't find them ever again. All right, that's the 3 bolts out. Done. Now we just need to pull this cap off. It does have a rubber seal, so it might be a bit of a struggle. I just gave it a bit of a hit before last time I did it. This time it came off okay. So you've got a rubber gasket. This can go away, and then you've got your plunger here. As you can see, that goes up and down, and that's what actually engages when the starter motor is engaged. That just pulls out. There is a spring on the bottom of it, so be very careful with the spring. Again, you don't want to lose that. Put that there. This is a replacement part, so we'll pull these bad boys out. As you can see here, see if I can get you right in there. There is a contact here and a contact here that the plunger goes down and actually touches on. So we're going to replace those 2 there, and with the 2 in the packet, and then the plunger as well, and that should be it. So it should be a pretty straightforward repair. Let's get stuck into it. So first things first, I'm going to start pulling this bolt off, which is the connection to the vehicle's power. I'm going to need a socket for that one. All right, so I've got a 1/2 socket that's actually going to fit. It's going to need to be a little bit deep to fit over that post. This one is now deep enough. If we can get it in there. So that's just the lock nut that holds it into place. Take that off, and this just slips out like that. Take note, there is a couple of O-rings in there as well. So there's a inner rubber seal. There's a seal from the inside, an O-ring, another rubber with a washer in there, and then the nut. So we definitely want to take note of the order that goes in. I like to always stack it in that order backwards, so that way I know what we're doing. Take that O-ring off. And that just slides out like that. Let's compare the two. While I'm pulling this out, I will talk about the CVR starter motor. Although I am fixing it, I do actually think they are very good. This one's about 7 years old. I bought it in 2018, so I haven't touched it until now. So if you ask me, that's not a bad deal. Okay. Seems to be stuck on here a bit. There we go. So if we compare these, there's a huge ridge in the current one. See, there's a big ridge here where the plunger's been touching it, and then we've got the new one here which doesn't have a ridge on it at all. So very, very worn, that one. This seems to be a bit of a press fit as well. Let's see if I can get a hammer and just knock this one out. So this brass looking bolt here has a knurled outside on it that slips in and actually press fits in there. I'm not exactly sure how tight it is, but we'll just give it a bit of a hit. See if I can knock it through. It's not coming out, so I'm just going to grab the vise. So you can see here, there's just a knurled section right on the edge there that presses into the squarish hole here. So we'll just slide that through. You probably don't really need to press it back through, because when you do it up, it's just going to pull itself through again. Let me put it in backwards. Always make sure you use the right orientation. Alright, so we've got it through. Got the O-ring. Plastic cover. So O-ring, plastic cover, washer, and then the lock nut. So that's just starting to pull the stud through into where it's going to get located. All right, that's nice and tight. So that's that side all sorted. All sorted now. We've got the new contact in, and the lock nut's been done up on the stud. Just going to put the other end back on before we forget. That's that one on. And then on this side, you've got your rubber cover where it actually connects to the motor itself, and it's pretty much the same setup again. So we'll undo the top nut. Still not finger loose. There we go. Top nut done. And we'll slide that off, that connection off, and it's the same as the other side. So it's a 1/2. It's probably easy to get a spanner on it. Spin that around so you can see what I'm doing.
Alright, so we got washer, plastic cup that the washer sits in, O-ring, and then the rubber seal on the inside that stays there, so we're all good with that. Again, we just want to make sure we put everything in a spot that we're not going to lose it. What I sometimes like to do, if I'm going to be hitting a nut near the thread or a bolt near the thread, just put the nut back on it so you don't destroy the threads. Okay. So this side also has a plate that's connected to some wires. Just in here, so there's this wire on this side that connects to a little plate that's sandwiched as well. So just make sure you remember that when you start pulling it out. This is probably one of the easiest things. It is a little bit daunting to open up a starter motor, but to be honest, you need very, very basic mechanical skills to get this one done. So there's the contact in there, as well as the little plate that's attached to the wires. So just make sure you pull the contact out, leave the wires in place. So slide that bad boy out. That one's not as worn as the other one. As you can see here, there's that huge lip. And that one's not looking so bad. All right, time to start working backwards. Losing the blade, that's all right. It's probably a good time to give your starter motor a bit of a clean. If it's like mine and you've got an oil leak, there will be oil all over it, so always a good time to give it a bit of a clean. Brand new contact, so we'll just slide it in behind that little plate with the wire attached. In there. Just making sure that that rubber grommet's still in the hole as well. So we just slide that in, stuck up against the corner. There we go. Put that little plate in as well. A little bit finicky if you've got sausage fingers like I do, but you will just get there. Perseverance is key. There we go. As you can see, we've got the second stud in there with the contact ready to rock. It's got that plate there that's being held in by the actual bolt itself. So we'll get this back together the way we assembled it. So we've got plastic, O-ring, and then washer, black washer. And then lock nut. Quickly pop that bad boy on. Just holds everything in place. We're definitely on the home stretch now, so we'll just keep ripping along nicely. It's starting to tighten up now. Perfect. All right. Lead back on. Washer back on. Then we got this guy. Final nut on. Nearly forgot. Before we pop that on, I want to make sure that cover's back on nicely. We definitely don't want any water shorting that one out. Cover's back on, so is the washer. Okay, pop that cap back on, flip it over. We're well and truly on the home stretch. So what we want to do is get our plunger, put our spring back on it nicely, pop it down the middle there. Just make sure that spring doesn't fall off. Cool, that's now plunging like it should. It's moving nice and smoothly. We'll just quickly pop these in with our fingers just to get it all lined up. Don't forget the one with the bracket that goes over the cable here, the blue cable. Beauty. All right, we'll quickly nip these up and we're all done. I like to always just make sure everything's sort of finger tight against this rubber gasket before I get the tools onto it, just to make sure everything's seated nicely on that gasket. There we are. I'll just quickly nip it up. It is a rubber gasket, so you don't need to tighten it too much, just enough. All done now. So that is how you install a solenoid repair kit on your CVR starter motor. Like I said earlier, it's probably going to be pretty similar to the other starter motors out there. So if you've got one that's not a CVR, but it does look similar, probably going to work. Don't forget to like and subscribe. I'm Josh. This is Redcliffe Muscle and Custom.